All right, all right, all right. How about it, folks? I am live on Rumble. And I'm over here checking to see if everything has worked according to plan. And I am also live on X and YouTube. I told you I was going to give this another shot because I just hadn't been able to get Rumble to consistently work out. The last time I tried it a few weeks ago, I could never get it launched. And so I just, jumped back over to OneStream and did it from there. But we're giving it another shot here to see what happens. I'm hoping what happens is what I want to happen. And what do you know? There I am on X. All right. That's perfect. Beautiful. Beautiful. Not me. I know I'm not. So anyway, I have a great show for you today. For those who really crave complexity, I believe today's pairing will deliver for you. I am pairing Penelope's Toasted Bourbon with its kind of, like marshmallow, caramel, spice notes all kind of wrapped around a wonderful stick. Go ahead and show you Penelope Toasted Bourbon. And I am pairing that with a My Father Blue Toro 6x60. I think it's going to be an excellent pairing. The My Father is I'm hoping is going to bring in some nice like cocoa and espresso notes and some maybe some pepper and some other little things in there, maybe a little bit of leather and that kind of thing. But I think it's going to create just a really nice kind of slow, indulgent journey of texture and taste. I'm selling it, aren't I? Selling. Now, I've already, as a matter of fact, when I managed to get my hands on some of these cigars here in the last few days, I was like, all right, what am I going to pair with this? And this is what I was going for. And I was like, yeah, but I just did that one a few weeks ago. I don't want to jump back in and do it again, but I just thought that was going to be the best possible pairing I could come up with based on availability at the time. So that's what I did. Now, I found that there are lots of people like me. They are fans of the Penelope line of bourbons, and this one is no exception. I've gotten some really good remarks from people about the toasted. I really liked it. Let me go ahead and glass some up for you. We're just going to jump right into her. Not exactly sure how much of people can see of me on the camera on Rumble. So what I see on the screen is not a whole lot, basically just from about here up. So, which could be my worst feature. But anyway, you take a look at it in the glass. It's just got just a really beautiful, beautiful kind of medium to maybe medium deep amber color to it. It's got some really nice legs in the glass. This is 50% alcohol by volume, so it's 100 proof. It has their char range on it is 5. It's toasted heavy. That means that they when they toasted the inside of the barrel before they put liquor in it, they really did it up right. So, the different amounts of char will add different amounts of different characters to the spirit. So, it's kind of all what you're going for. There's so many different things that go into making and crafting a high quality bourbon. I mean, really high quality whiskey overall, because they all use a lot of the same kind of methods. It's just what do they do to make theirs stand out, So anyway, on the nose, at 100 proof, there's almost no alcohol ethanol burn in it at all. I mean, really at all. You just get some very wonderful notes of toasted oak and vanilla bean. little bit of honey or honeycomb, some caramel, a little bit of marshmallow cream in there. I love that stuff. Mm. There's some warm, like baking spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, that kind of thing. Maybe some clove, just to give it just a hair sharper aroma. And then there's a really nice, kind of subtle orange peel, citrusy brightness to it. It is a wonderful smelling spirit. It really is. Actually, I picked up another bottle yesterday. So even though this one's not even half gone yet, I've already got the replacement. All right. And it is a kind of a medium-bodied spirit. So I'm expecting it not to be have too powerful a punch, but also not be too watered down for the cigar. It does have a really nice medium body on it. You get a little bit of a spicy burn on the tip of your tongue. Um, it does have kind of a creamy mouth feel to it. There's some very nice layers of toasted oak with some brown sugar and some vanilla, and then you get more of that marshmallowy, creamy kind of sweetness. I think that's balanced with some wonderful notes of cinnamon and nutmeg, and just a hint of orange zest to give it just a little bit of pucker, and then some cocoa. It is it's very balanced and very complex. There's a lot going on there. Excuse me. Sorry about my doorbell going off. Which could mean that there's a squirrel running across the yard or somebody's trying to break in the house. You never know. Um, it has a nice, it's a long finish, but not too long. And it's warming with some really good notes of vanilla and cream and toasted oak, um, and some nice marshmallow, and then just a touch of oak spice. Um, and it does have a just kind of a wonderful kind of lingering sweetness that kind of goes on, um, with just a touch of charred wood. It's a wonderful spirit. It's a very wonderful spirit. Now, My Father Blue. This has been showing up in my feed for weeks. Uh, this is a new blend out for the Garcia family, and um, I'm like, I got to get a hold of some of these. So I went out and got a couple at my local tobacconist, Tabacalera, I don't know, whatever, at the smoke shop. Um, and I was very happy to get a hold of these. Uh, Now, this is the big one. This is the Toro Gordo. It's 6x60 on the ring gauge. It has a filler that is Honduran Corojo and Criollo, um, that is wrapped in a Honduran Corojo binder, and then that is all cloaked in a beautiful, beautiful Connecticut broadleaf rosado wrapper. Visually, it is a rather rough looking leaf. It's not like, just really like smooth and elegant, but it's got that nice rugged texture to it. Looks says something along the lines of paper bag kind of thing. Looks like there's a little bit hint of tooth in it. Um, Minimal veining, and man, that this one right here above my finger, I can get the light on it just right. I mean, yeah, it's hard to see. Is the most pronounced. I mean, it's almost devoid of veins, uh, and minimally visible seams. You almost can't find them. Uh, and then a beautiful double cap. And like I said, this did just come out here in the last few months. I think around April. Uh, on the nose. Holding. Sorry, I'm watching football while I'm doing this. You get a, a very good, like earthy cedar with some cocoa powder and some nice kind of sweet spice. There's a subtle kind of dried fruit sweetiness to it, something along the lines of like raisins or dates or dried plums or something like that. It's got a really nice nose to it. It's not an overpowering nose. We'll go ahead and give it a cut using my Cassetti multi-cutter, cutting a V cut. It's my usual go-to cut. Very beautiful cut there. All right, cold draw. Oh, Sadie. On the cold draw, I get some really good notes of like cocoa and leather, kind of some faint raisins in there. There's a hint of black pepper and then just a little bit of baking spice there at the end. And the cedar is like a fresh cedar. If you have an aged cedar, it's got an aroma to it. But when it's fresh, it's got that little bit of extra sharpness or brightness to it that you can tell it's fresh. And that's what I get off of here. Hmm. All right. Now let's go ahead and light her up. I screwed up last week, took the band off too early, and I wound up pulling off part of the wrapper. So I'm not going to do that this week. I'm gonna try it. Go ahead and toast the foot up here. Well, we got dogs barking. We got fire engines going. Now all I need is the mowers to be mowing the yard over here behind him. Copious amounts of smoke coming off of this stick right from the light. I'm using my Rocky Patel Envoy 5 torch. It's like a blowtorch. Um, like if you're going to do it right. Make sure you bring a big enough gun for the fight that you're in. Um, so you would think that this thing would suck down butane, but it doesn't. It is a sipper. I mean, without refilling it, uh, I can burn a half a dozen cigars before I need to put fluid back in it or juice back in it. Uh, I like that. Unfortunately, they stopped making it, and that was my second one. I don't really like the blue, but that was the only thing I could get at the time. I had one that was purple, and I loved it. And when we were having the work done here on the house after the flood from Winter Storm Uri, uh, it disappeared. So I'm kind of wondering who disappeared it on me. So because it's not one that I like. I travel like if I go down to the Sticks-n-Stonez Southern Command down on the coast. I don't. I wouldn't take that one. It's take an older lighter because too much chance that something would happen. You'd lose it, forget it, whatever. So it had to disappear from around here. All right, where are we at? Interception, but a flag is down. Mm, it's going to take a minute here. Mm. Wonderful smoke, very silky, hangs in the air really well. I get some nice creamy like cocoa with a little bit of espresso sharpness in there. Some really good notes of like leather and a little bit of cedar. Some oh wow, that ball got tipped at the line. Interception in the end zone. That's terrible. And he went and did the downward facing dog after that play. Baker Mayfield threw the interception. Anyway, all right. I can see why this has been in my feed so much. It is balanced with a kind of a medium to full body without being harsh. Let's try it together. The bourbons kind of toasted marshmallow and vanilla cream kind of echo the cigar's cocoa and espresso core. Love that. Doesn't really mean anything, but I love and some cigars the smoke won't do it. It just depends on the cigar, but that's awesome. Like that. I just do it so I can keep the smoke in my mouth until the last moment before the spirit touches my tongue. I hadn't even started getting cold here in Texas. And when I say cold, I mean like 70 during the day, maybe upper 60s. Leaves are already falling. They're like, F it, we give up. The that orange zesty brightness in the Penelope kind of accents the cigar's sweet spice and kind of dried fruit hints. And the kind of the bourbon's gentle warmth kind of softens the cigar's peppery finish, and it really kind of creates a very harmonious, layered experience. Um, yeah, I think these going very, very well together. I like it. I like it a lot. Beautiful stacks of white ash and a what I would consider to be a very natural burn line, not like extremely straight, but not like just super, as I say in my from my Arkansas upbringing, whoppy jawed. Next week, the Cowboys and the Jets. Cowboys are looking rough. I'm not a fan, but we kind of have to watch them if you live here in DFW because they're on every Sunday or whatever day they play, and they kind of suck. They do. And their defense is looking like they shouldn't have got rid of what's his name, let him go to Green Bay. But I've said many times on this show, and even more times just in general, the Cowboys are never going to be good again until they get rid of their general manager, who's also their owner. And then even then, maybe not, because his son will be next in line. Maybe his son will be smart enough to work the business side of things and let somebody else, like a general manager that actually knows football, uh, handle all the player stuff. Hmm. I can't see how many people are on. Maybe that means nobody's on. That could be. But I have gotten one like. Props to the person that did that. Oh, and yesterday, all of a sudden, after May, June, July, August, almost 5 months, uh, X finally approved me for subscribers. Um, yeah, it took a long time. I mean, I asked about it like a month ago, and I just got some Grok AI generated answer back. You could tell there were no specifics in it. Like, we're sorry you're having this problem. Yeah, 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 yeah. And didn't matter what else they said. Because basically they were saying, yeah, we don't know what to tell you. I guess that's what happens when you cut the workforce by 90%. It takes a long time to get shit done. That's what I keep saying about the governments. There's a whole lot of stuff that the government has to take care of under the Constitution. If you get rid of all the people, there ain't nobody to do it. I also heard that there is the Fed just reduced interest rates by a quarter point earlier this month. There is like an 88.7% chance that they cut at least another quarter point in October. I'm hoping. And inflation for the first time, and I forgot how long it said, but it was under 2%. Hot damn. I need my grocery bill to go down, that's for sure. Mm. I got $140 worth of stuff from HEB, who has good prices. I didn't get anything for a single meal. Uh, Now, I did buy bread and lunch meat and cheese, girls' lunches. But as far as like buying stuff to make a dinner, I didn't get any of that stuff. $140. But by the time you buy a 24 pack of Dr. Pepper and a 6 pack of zero sugar sports drinks, half gallon of milk, and then laundry, detergent and fabric softener. Shit, those two things by themselves, and these weren't the big giant bottles. Those are $20. It's rough out there. But I did see and I reposted it on X, a Joe Rogan video. I don't remember exactly when the interview happened. It could have been just in the last few days, but it was just an excerpt of a longer interview. I'm not even sure who he was talking to, but they were talking about how all this, all we're racking up like $2 trillion in debt every year, and taxes are already high. Everything else is high, and he was making the point that it's all these wars that have been, Iraq and Afghanistan, and we support pretty much anybody that decides they want to go to war for something. And so, we've been supporting Ukraine and all that kind of stuff. And they were talking about that's why, because we're spending all this money and we're paying for all these wars. And I'm like, yeah, well, you also forget there's another small incident in there too. And that is, hey, man, Baker chugged it on out for a first down. He was breaking tackles. There weren't no sliding. He was running that out. I'm like, well, you forget about COVID too. Number one, government just spent a lot of money during COVID. Providing all those, free vaccinations and shit. But also, and I said this at the time, they's handing out those free checks. Well, my girls will tell you when you ask them, what's free? They say nothing. What I taught them. Ain't nothing free. Somebody's paying for it. You may not be paying for it, but somebody is. They hand out free stuff at a store. Store still had to buy it. It just didn't materialize. And they were sending out all those free checks. And, they were going trillions of dollars in debt. So they decided they'd print more money, raise the debt ceiling. That's the answer to it. Just ask the credit card holder to give you a increase in your limit. And I said back then, I'm like, we're going to have to pay for this down the road. Not like everybody else. I didn't send the money back, but I could tell you what was going to happen. Is what it is. Hey, I put it back into the economy, hoping maybe it might help. I don't talk a whole lot about politics. I tried a year ago to do a political podcast. Way too stressful. A lot of shit to try and keep up with. Most folks don't agree with you. Even the ones that support the same thing you support, they don't support it exactly the way you support it. And everybody is a financial genius. So, and political genius. It lasted about 4 or 5 months, and I'm like, I'm going back to the cigar and whiskey thing. I talk about a whole lot of different things, but it's not the focus of my, hey, I'm up to 3 likes. That's awesome. Yeah, I like that. I just wish I knew how many people were watching. My guess is that it is because I am on Rumble and not on OneStream. My bet is X, for some reason, can't tell me. But when I look at this, I'm like, okay, I do love OneStream. It works well. It's great. But it's just a platform to do your live stream. And then you carry it to where you want it to go. X, YouTube. I'm on the free side because I'm not making money doing this yet. Although I am now monetized on X, I haven't seen any money. Been monetized for about 3 months. Still ain't seen anything. Keep trying to get my impressions higher. Get more people to get my stuff to show up in more people's feeds. Oh, by the way, this is a 6x60. It's probably going to take longer than an hour to smoke. I am not going to be on that long. We're going to get to about the halfway mark, and then we're going to go ahead and close her down for the day. So, number one, there's some problem with going over 60 minutes. I can't remember what it is now, but anyway. But I enjoy this a whole lot more than the political thing. I don't see how Rush did it for all those years. I mean, yeah, he was making $250 million to do it. And I might be able to, withstand it for a lot longer if I was making that kind of money. But ooh, he just got crushed. Took the doggies out to the park today, and I don't mean like green space. I mean like woods. It is a park, but it's a natural park. The only like trails they have are just cut paths that volunteers go out there and they just clean all the stuff off the paths. All the stuff around it is just all natural, wild. And Sadie, my silver lab, she loves it. She's good. We can keep her off the leash. We rarely ever see anybody, if maybe one other person while we're there. And she'll, you give her a, she comes right back. Desi, our little rescue, our little dumbass, he's a moron, but he's a very handsome moron. That's what he had. He's lovable. He never meets a stranger. He loves everybody. We have to keep him on the leash though. He don't quite get it yet. He's a hard learner. He's even struggling with answering to his name. You don't know. I guess he thinks his name is Treat though, because he hears Treat, he comes running. Wow, 4th and 10. Minute to go in the fourth quarter. Still got 2 timeouts though. So you got to get 8 points. Yeah, I don't think so. Possible. Oh, switching gears again. Yesterday, Saturday, college football. My Aggies won again. Get on. Beat the Auburn Tigers. Clipped the wings on War Eagle. The offense wasn't very prolific. It was a 16-10 game, but the defense was awesome. So we're 4-0. We were number 9 going into yesterday. I think I read somewhere, I haven't gone and looked specifically, but I think I saw a post that said we're up to either number 6 or number 5. I'm like, really? I would like to stay more like number 8 or 9. It's not a big difference, but once you start getting up in there into like the top 5, there's a lot of expectations. Is there any kind of noise distraction that can't happen while I'm doing this? I'm still waiting for the mowers to start. Of course, usually I'm here on Saturday. I'm here on Sunday today, but I haven't had anything to eat since breakfast. So this 100 proof is kind of getting to me. Well, 57 seconds left, and the Eagles just took over on downs. So give it to Barkley and let him make a couple of runs. They still have 2 timeouts left, so they'll burn those. This game's over. What else we got going on? Oh, the Ravens and the Chiefs. Oh, Terror in the Woods is on too. I have a very eclectic TV style. I love all the kind of reality, kind of ghost things. I think they're funny. There's one out there called Ghost Brothers. It's a group of African-American guys that go ghost hunting. I'm sorry. I don't know an African-American guy that will willingly go ghost hunting. They're like, I'll leave that shit alone. I guess these guys have figured, hey, there ain't nobody else doing it like us. So it'll be our own little collab. Maybe samurai. It depends on what you're offering. I'm always open to a nice collaboration, but I'm not a samurai. I did take karate for a year or so. I worked up to a yellow belt. I think it's white belt, white with a black stripe, and yellow. That's the bottom 3. I think I made it to that. So, but it wasn't the fact that I just couldn't learn anymore. I just couldn't pay for it anymore, so I quit. That was back when I was in like my 20s and money was tight. Like donating blood money tight. I think back about then and I'm like, man, look at today's prices. Back then, I could buy a whole chicken. Almost, how you get the frozen turkeys in the bag. It's kind of the same thing because it wasn't cut up. You had to pay more for cut up. Couldn't pay more. And so I'd take it home, cut it, put it in, cut it up, put it in a pot, let it boil, take the skin off, and then cook about 4 family servings of rice. So, like, say a family of 4, like 4 of those servings, a lot of rice. And then I'd cut the chicken all up into pieces, mix it in with the rice, and that would be dinner for like multiple nights in a row. And that's where one of the reasons why I have such a love of like Tabasco and something like that. Not super hot like ghost pepper and all that kind of thing, Carolina Reaper or whatever. No, like Tabasco is about as far as I go. I used to eat all that like super hot stuff, and then I ended up with acid reflux. I have to take medication for it every day, and I had really bad heartburn and stuff because I was eating all this hot stuff. So I kind of backed off on the hot stuff. Even like the family, they're like, "You always buy mild salsa." I'm like, "Sorry." So I have to get them their own salsa. I can eat salsa that's medium, but I much prefer it mild. I like the flavor, with the tomatoes and the onions and maybe some cilantro and stuff, and even peppers, but not a lot of peppers. So it just gets to me. I hate it. My wife has knowingly, never had heartburn because she doesn't know what it feels like. She's like, "What does it feel like to have heartburn?" Well, what does it sound like? It feels like your heart's about to burst into flames. That's exactly what it's like. When I post it, I keep seeing it pop up, people liking that I'm about to go live. And I forgot to copy and paste all of my cigar buddies on X, all their handles on there to send it out to them and everybody that they are followed by. This is a lot of stuff to try and take care of. And it's easy to forget. Andy Reid. That dude's been coaching a long time. The Walrus. He reminds me of William Howard Taft. Yeah. The former president from back in the 1800s, for all y'all that don't know. I got to have a little something to wet my whistle. Good stuff. All right. We got a little bit more to go because we're not quite down to the half, but we're getting close. I am going to go ahead and see if this will come off without pulling off wrapper. A little bitty tiny piece. A little bitty tiny piece. That should be okay. One last week, it was probably about maybe 3 times of that size, and it was enough that it kind of got a little explosion there as it really started heating up. So that's why I waited this week. Now, I don't take the regular band off on cigars until I get right down close to the end. Sometimes I don't even do it at the end. I'll just, when it gets to the band, I feel like I'm done. But, they've gotten so decorative with cigars, like the Rocky Patel 60, which is like my favorite cigar of all time. The entire from the top of the main band to the foot of the cigarette is all band, but it's like 2 or 3 bands overall. I think it may be 2. There's like one big wide band. You peel it off, and then they have a band about this size that's left. That's an excellent cigar. Not with this spirit though. The 60 has a lot more chocolate and cherries and a robust sweetness, and by that I mean like the stuff that's inside a chocolate covered cherry. You've got the chocolate and the cherry, but then there's that filling, that liquidy, like viscous, uh, syrupy sweetness in there. That's just like all sugar. That kind of sweetness. Really good sweet cigar, but it's it's not a flavored or infused or anything like that. That's just how it's been put together, um, with the filler and the binder and the wrapper. It's excellent cigar. Excellent cigar, in my view. I don't know that I've ever really had a Rocky Patel that I didn't like. Um, Maybe the Decade. I'm not a big Decade or the Edge, but pretty much everything else. Yeah, I cut my teeth on the vintage 1990 and 1992. That was once I really started branching out into other things other than five V just back in the day. We're getting there. We're almost to halfway mark, and I'll let y'all go because I know there's football to watch. Getting ready to go to work tomorrow. I don't have to do that either, but at least I do get to work from home for 3 more days. Then I have to be in the office for 3. The burn and the draw on this cigar is, it's got a really nice, fairly straight burn line, and some nice firm ash. A good draw. It's not. I mean, the X cut. There you go. Does take a pretty good sized chunk out of the back, so it allows for like maximum draw or almost maximum draw. The guillotine cut maximum draw. So it's not too easy, but it's also not too tight. That's what she said. I am going to be very interested once this episode is over and going back and seeing how many watched on X. I don't ever have very many people watch on YouTube live, but it all comes from people watching later. She's got a big old huge mole on her face, like one of those like big ones that like sticks out. I won't say her name or nothing. Uh, but I'm like, you're on TV. You must be making some good money. We'll have that thing. Have that. Go to a dermatologist. Have that thing removed. I don't mean to be talking about nobody, but I just happened to notice that. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Well, starting to split right there. That's terrible. And this thing was going so perfectly. But yeah, it's even down to like right there. This is where the big split in the wrapper is, but then you can see it burst open down here. That's going to count off a little bit. One of these that I smoked yesterday was flawless, but it was a Robusto. It was a 5x50. This is a Toro. Toro Gordo. That is 6x60. Could could have a little bit to do with it. I don't know. We'll have to we'll have to check DraftKings. I've got Derrick Henry in one of my bets. And that Penelope Toasted Bourbon, that is it is an excellent spirit. Um, you get some really great notes of like toasted oak layered with brown sugar and vanilla, and you get this kind of toasted marshmallow sweetness balanced with a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg. Get some good notes of citrus zest and a little bit of light cocoa in there. It's an excellent spirit. Excellent spirit. I really like all the Penelopes. I love what they do. Um, they're not one of the legacies like Buffalo Trace or Jim Beam or one of those. I would say Jack Daniels, but technically they're Tennessee whiskey. Jack always made he lobbied for that distinction, but people generally lump it in with bourbon. But not it's not the legacy stuff like that. I would consider Maker's Mark Penelope along the lines of like Maker's Mark. It's a little less well known, but a very good spirit. Four Roses. I would place those three kind of in their own same little tier. Very good, but just not one of the like old time legacy brands. As we've kind of gotten here, because we're about midway. As we've kind of gotten here to the midway mark, we've kind of gotten a little extra dose of say a sweet spice, and then there's been a little kind of a dark chocolate richness that's kind of come in, and then you're starting to see the pepper kind of build a little bit, and that's balanced with um, kind of the earthiness and cedar that you had in the beginning. I can see why so many people have been trying this cigar. It's a very good cigar. It really is. I believe these two went together perfectly. The Penelope Toasted Bourbon it's 100 proof. Um, it's got the sweetness to kind of tone down the pepperiness in the cigar, but at the same time, it supports the kind of sweet layers of the cigar as well, with its own cocoa and kind of espresso and that kind of sweet spiciness. They do go very well together. I would highly recommend, if you are going to smoke the My Father Blue or drink the Penelope Toasted Bourbon, that you pair it with the other, because I think you will really, really enjoy it. This is it's a great combination. It really is. I wish I got paid for this. Since I'm not getting paid for it, I'm telling you the truth. Because if it really sucked, I tell you, I don't know if the video is still out there or not, but I know I posted this video. It's been a few years ago. I've been doing this for 5.5 years. I had one whiskey. It's the only whiskey I've ever done this to. But I made a video of it because it's the first time it had ever happened. Hadn't happened since. I poured it out. Not the glass, the bottle. Poured the bottle out. Wasn't any good. Usually I can say, oh well, it'd be good for mixing. Put a little bit in your Diet Coke or whatever, or make an old fashioned with it. But no, I went to restaurant Cane Russo last night. It's kind of a pizza place, more of a kind of upscale like pizza place, I guess you'd say, over near the Star where the Cowboys practice. And I had a smoked old fashioned, very good. Matter of fact, it was delicious. And it had the cherry in it. Let that cherry sit in there for a little bit, and then pop that sucker in my mouth. Oh, sweetness and cherry and whiskey. Oh, it was delicious. It's awesome. Mm. Well, I will let y'all get back to your Sunday afternoon. I hope you have enjoyed this pairing as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Please hit like, subscribe, share, notify, ring all the bells, blow all the whistles, do all that kind of stuff. Share the shiznit out of it, because I'm growing everywhere, on Rumble, on YouTube, on X. Kind of stagnant on Instagram, but I don't spend a lot of time over there anymore now that I'm trying to actually get some monetization going on X. And that way you can keep up with when I drop stuff and what I'm going to be doing my live streams and that kind of thing. On X, on the Sticks-n-Stonez bio, you will see a link to our Printify store, where you can get our "Here Am I, Send Me" shirt. See right there? Sticks-n-Stonez, red, white, and blue. And then on the back, I know it's probably too big for the camera, there's a soldier, desert camo, helmet, goggles, bandana, M4, and it has Isaiah 6:8. And the Lord asked, "Who shall I send and who shall go for us?" And then underneath, "Here am I, Lord, send me." Isaiah 6:8. And after the death of Charlie Kirk a couple of weeks ago, tragic, I really do believe that that's the way he lived his life. He made his living going out to college campuses and challenging people that believed differently than he did to debate. And he wasn't angry. He didn't assault anybody. He wanted to talk to people that believed differently than he did. And that was, he ended up costing him his life. And that's, in a lot of ways, the way soldiers, which the Isaiah 6:8 is big among military people, because you feel like you're called to do that. And he was, in a lot of ways, called to do what he did, and so, hey, I'd love for you to go out and pick up one of those shirts and just wear it for Charlie. Wear it for Charlie. You should. But until we get to be together again, keep your sticks dry, your stones cold. Have a great day.